And we're recording. We're live. Cool.
All right.
Stage right.
Just kidding. You started off. I don't.
All right, guys. So other than that, I'm just going to do more simple, I guess, upselling. The biggest thing is y'all need to slow down. And the biggest thing is y'all need, I'm not going to say y'all, I'm going to say y'all as everybody. Listening is so massive and so easy to do, but none of us do it. And actually, I was going to say, I actually do, there's a listening exercise that I do in acting that we do. But most of the time, I'll ask if y'all listened or what they said. And everybody's so focused on trying to get their script right versus just listening and engaging with your client. So I would challenge you to listen more. And if you want help with it, there's some exercises that we can do that are awesome with the listening, because the listening, any comment, oh, y'all have pocket knives? Like, that's an interest question, right? You have a fillet knife? Like, oh, I didn't know that. Well, there's a reason why they're even asking you, because somebody fucking fishes, or they used to fish, or they're, you know what I mean? Like, just because they're not buying Cutco for themselves doesn't mean they're not going to add anything on, like, for other people. That's the same thing with the businesses, the same thing with all that. That's why the concept selling is so really important. But listening to everything that you're seeing, which is an interesting, like hearing and seeing, you got to listen to that, which is why I was saying it a minute ago. So that way, when you get done finally closing what they want, whether it's 5 pieces or a homemaker or Siggy, you then can transition very smoothly. And we all know, what do you do first? You get the card, right? Right? You start writing up the order form. You don't go right into it. I mean, fuck, count to 30 seconds if you need to. And then you just, hey, by the way, right? Just so you know, right, y'all have heard this probably 100 times already. Right? I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you, right? And then you can spin it back on them. By the way, you mentioned the fishing knife earlier. Let me show you that, right? Who in your family fishes? Who, right? Who does this? Who does that? So you're doing the concept thing again. You're using what they said against them, sort of. You're using it in your bench. So you're not the salesperson, but you're trying to help them on any question that they have. You're consulting it, right? But you can't do that if you don't pay attention and listen to them. That makes sense? And literally, oh, you saw the fillet knife? Awesome. Well, we have a fillet knife. You mind if I show it to you? Then you show it to them, right? Now you're selling the actual product itself. So just to let you know right now, because you're getting this, if you wanted a fillet knife or 2, you get a great deal on them. And then also, we actually have an outdoorsman package where you can get a bunch of stuff. When you take that package and you add it to your homemaker, which is another package, your basic set, you save a lot of money. You want me to show you the package, or just the one, the 1 or 2 pieces you want? And then they'll tell you, right? They're like, oh shit, what's this package? And then you just show them whatever your package is. And then you say, because you bought this set is the reason why I can do this at this price. Even if it's a regular discount you would normally do, but if you word it that way, they buy it. That makes sense? So you're not actually even having to discount it even more. It's just how you preference it or position it. I don't know if that's the right word. And that's the same thing with anything. They mentioned the shears, right? Some people like really want the shears because grandma has them, but then they buy 5 knives and not the shears. You'd be silly not to just mention, hey, by the way, I know you really want the shears. I mean, your grandma's house for 40 years, right? Yeah, right? You use what you listen to and what you grab to just instantly just throw it back at them. And then like, well, you want to just get them, I can give you a peeler for it, right? Or if I make you first, you got to ask them, if I make you a silly deal, because I know you're going to buy them later anyways, right? Would you even consider getting it, or would you pull the trigger today? Right? So you got to use the information. Like, that's my key of upselling, is trying to really listen to the client. Sometimes I don't, and then I don't upsell anything because I wasn't listening. But that's an easy way to just upsell 1 pair of shears, 1 fisherman solution, 1 pocket knife, 1 extra trimmer, right? Any one item, if you add 50 or 100 CPO into each order, you're gonna sell a lot more throughout the year and throughout the campaign, if that makes any sense. And then Josh used to say, I don't know, have your back pocket. Josh, well, I don't know. Someone said it. You should have your back pocket upserve your deal, right? If you heard the shears, hey, get any another $100 and because you bought this, you get your peeler for free, right? Buy 1, get a gadget, right? And all of a sudden you have an extra 60 or 70 CPO. And of course, now some of us have gadgets on them, so it's like super cheap, right? Table knives, it's the same thing. When I do a 5-piece, I instantly be like, hey, by the way, those table knives, I know you're gonna get them later anyways. Right now, because you got the 5, we have an 11-piece package where you get 6 of them, and it's only $124 a month versus your $90. Like, and then I'm like, it's like 30% off. I don't even know what the number is. I just say that sometimes. So, then you have another 170 CPO off of 6 table knives, and that's just one, right? And then if they say yes to that, then by the way, you're at 124 for 180. I can get you into that block, which is the galley, right? You can it's just because they're not going anywhere. You got the credit card, and you're just mentioning it casually. You're not having a hard sell them. By the way, do you want to see that? And then let them kind of engage. But all the wording is, because you got this, if you wanted this, I can get you a really, really good deal. Don't tell them the deal. Just say they could get a really good deal. That makes sense? Most of the time we say, hey, I can do this, 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 and this, and they haven't even said they would even want it. So now you're just selling. But if they go, hey, I could get you a great deal if you really wanted it, and then just wait, then like, no, well, Frank, show me the fucking deal. Mm-hmm. Show me the deal, right? And then, oh, okay, wasn't sure if you wanted it, and then you show them the deal, right? I think that's a big key. It's a sales process like before, but we skip over because we already got a sell. So we're like, hey, by the way, you want this one? Blah 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 blah. Just you still got to section that, and you do that with everything: flatware, cookware, gadgets. The gadget package. I sell a lot of gadget packages. Like my first Fiesta was a gadget package. The lady was like, oh my god, you have a can opener? I was like, yeah. No, it's ice cream scoop. So yeah, we have ice cream scoop. I was like, can I explain it real quick? She was like, yeah. I was like, you have Cutco? Okay, cool. She'd never seen any of our gadgets. And I go, you know how great our knives are. Well, we take the same time and effort and quality control and all this stuff applied to all of the gadgets, because believe it or not, these gadgets have the exact same guarantee as our knives. And then it's just, oh shit, for real? Like, yeah, if it breaks in 10 years, your grandkid's gonna have it. It's the same thing, right? That's why it took us 10 years to make the can opener. And then I transitioned to the can opener. She's like, what? You have a can opener? Yeah, you know how hard it is to find a good can opener? So, and by the way, I know you want the one ice cream scoop, because she had already said she really wants it. I go, but we do the gadget package where you get a massive discount, and most people have the drawer with the 3 peelers, 6 can openers, two ice cream scoops, and none of them work, right? And that right is a really big question, because she's like, yeah. So that way you can downsize. Jonathan said it earlier. When you sell a kitchen, people, they're like, oh my God, I'm adding so much more. But that phrase, and I think Jason started it, when you add a package, you get to downsize because you get rid of all that other shit that you're not using that doesn't work, right? So it's like, oh, I will actually have less shit in my drawer by doing the package because they all work, right? So that's a concept. And then they visually see it, like all their shit getting replaced and putting, right? So it's like, and then now you have an option close. Now it's like, by the way, do you want me to show you the package, or just show you the 1 or 2 pieces you originally said, or flip it? You go, I can show you the 1 or 2 pieces you wanted, or I can, if you want, I can at least show you the package. Whatever you want. So I plant the seed, and then I give them the option of being in control. But I technically controlled it. So y'all see how that works? No. Listening, and then, by the way, and just concept pitching, which is why that was so important.
What I was going to go over real quick, just what I found is, like, I don't know if you guys have done this yet. If you guys can find this on Event Analytics, but I was able to look at my average order per order at the events, and it was like $6.15 or $6.30. So if you guys are at least selling a 5-piece to everybody, does everybody like at least sell a 5-piece to everybody?
Not yet. Most of us are working on it.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll go over that real quick and then kind of go over an upsell that I normally do. So with a 5-piece, you always have that customer that comes up and says, hey, how much is this paring knife, right? How much is this trimmer? I'm just missing one of those. I usually just kind of go over the piece and kind of go back to what I was saying earlier is, you know, what I find is, like, most people, they'll get one knife. They'll, like, you're going to use that knife every day, right? Because it's going to be your sharpest knife. Of course, you're going to use it over 900 times in a year, and over 2 years, you're going to use it over 1,800 times. So what I find is that most people come back 2 years later, and then they're mad about that the knives aren't as sharp as they want them to be. So what most of my customers do is they get a 5-piece. So you transition from that 1 piece, you sell the 1 piece, you write it up, and then you start talking about basically like just like a 5-piece special. As soon as you get the 5-piece special, you make sense to them, especially we're here in Texas. Everybody and their mother uses the chef's knives, and what they do is they use it for meat. And then it creates chips inside their meat. So I tell this to also past customers. I'm like, explain to them, like, yeah, everybody gets a chef's knife. They dole it out, they chip it up. So what I find is, like, the hard slicer is the best one. And then I kind of go into that package. And then by the time you know it, after explaining 4 or 5 pieces, along with the 5-piece, we're back at a set. Now, if you get stuck at the 5-piece, this is the beautiful thing about it, is you close the 5-piece, and then this is going to help some of you guys that are talking about flatware. then you need to close like usually $100 to $500 in a set before you should pitch the flower, in my opinion, because now you have leverage. So you can pitch the flatware, say it's 66.7, and hey, just so you know, I know you're getting that 5-piece already. Like, I know you weren't thinking about flower today or spending that much money, but if I just made you like a crazy deal, would you do it? Sure, right? Then you say, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll take care of 3 of those knives or 4 of those knives or even 5 of those knives if you decide to get the flatware today. And I'm sure a lot of y'all have done this before, but it is like 95% effective for you to do that. Like, you will sell flatware or cookware or any upsell if you have the leverage first. Even with the guy that comes up and says, oh, I want a hunting knife, right? You sell them as a little package for like 5 pieces with all the hunting knives. And you're like, hey, dude, you're forgetting about your life. Like, I'll tell you what, if you go ahead and get this set, I'll cover that K-bar or that other fishing knife. Like, you're going to pay the same amount today, or actually less, but you get way more, and then you break it down per piece. Those are very easy upsells. That's like the first step of getting like a couple pieces into a set. And then you can use everything that Jonathan and Frank are saying, where you can get that concept selling. Say, hey, by the way, like, if you actually get, our Cutco kitchen, let me show it to you real quick, and you walk through the pieces, through the packages, you're more likely to sell a lot more in a shorter amount of time. But you have to constantly almost view it as like, where you're taking this, but you have to say it to people. Hey, the reason I'm showing you this is because most people, what they do, like whether you do it today or 2 years from now, you're going to get more. So what most of my smart customers do is they just get the package because it's a way better deal. It's only $272 a month. You get everything you wanted, plus you get the discount. You get $1,900 probably for $1,200. So you save $700. Now, I don't know if you like spending money, but if you do, it's the best way to do it. And all you need to do is this, no credit checks, all that stuff. And you just constantly keep on pitching the fact that it's a way better savings if you buy it in a package. If you're going to do it anyways and you have the money, doesn't it just make sense to do it today? And you just keep on going that. So that's what I would say about the upselling that I have versus what you've not covered.
Yeah, it's excellent. He used what his current style and then leverages it against what they might be interesting. They weren't interested in. They're kind of on the fence, and then you can ask that question. Hey, by the way, could y'all see yourselves using flatware? And if they say yeah, then they're already spending $500. So that's a third of the flatware with that full price with that. So you're like, hey, by the way, you're going to get this later, especially because they're like, oh, let's handle the knives first, and in a few months. We're getting that big bonus check, right, honey? Blah, 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 blah. That'd be the perfect time to buy it.
I plan to add on 1 knife a month.
Right. So it's like, and then you're like, oh, guys, okay, so if it's reasonable, if it's within a few months and the prices are going up like they are, that'd be like, hey, look, so let me explain. I'm not trying to be I always say that. I'm not trying to be too salesy, but you need to know. If you do this, your price is going to go up, which is fine. I'll get you a good deal. But if you do it now because of the show and because of this and because of that, I can go ahead and do something crazy, and it's only because you're buying this package today. Would you at least like to see it? Like, would you even consider it, right? Or, you know what I mean? And then that's when I usually go, by the way, the only thing I ask is if I do this for you, you can't cheat on me with other Cutco people, right? And then they laugh, and then it broke that tension, and then I high five them, and then I go, okay. Like, all right, Frank, I promise I'm loyal to you because I just told them that I'm going to get them something stupid. And then by the way, subconsciously, it's by them going, all right, Frank, I promise. They're in. Like, they want it. They want me to give them the stupid deal. And that's why I always use that line right before I show them the price, when they show interest. And then it usually closes.
And kind of add on to that, like, if you kind of stall right at that point where, you feel that uncomfortableness about like asking for like the bigger order, that's when I like to kind of say something like, hey, and just so you know, when you buy this like today, or, even if you decide to get over time, I'm going to be your Cutco guy. I do full service. We do service events. I'm going to send you emails. I'm going to send you marketing. So you can always get that Cutco kitchen if you want to. But if you want to get started with something like this today, I can definitely help you out. And then that's when the husband and wife look at each other, and you talk to the wife or husband and say, hey, are you cool with him buying it? Are you cool with them buying it? Are you cool with spending money? And they don't have to walk around and think about it, and you got to close the deal. Pretty much like 90% of the time, it saves you a ton of time. But I think just really having that confidence and showing that customer like how long you're going to be around and what you're going to do for them, and then doing it, you're gonna see a lot of I guess the orders come through at a later time. But I only say that because I know when I bought like insurance or anything like that, I'll ask the person, hey, how long have you been selling for, and what do you plan to do for like the next 5 or 10 years? Because I bought insurance and then all of a sudden I can't call that guy anymore because he quit.
God,
Yeah, so why would I want to spend that much money? So doing that little thing to get a big package also reassures the customer, all right, let's do it, right?
I have a consistent point of contact with them.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, by the way, has anyone here ever bought like a high-end product or sort of like whether it's insurance or a car or something like that where you just got like a fat hookup? Okay, next time you're shopping for that same thing, who gets the first call?
That guy, but he's no longer with them. But yes.
The point being, like, if they were still with them, though, that's the first person you call, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, hey, man, even if it's not a guaranteed I'm giving you my business, it's like, what's up? Like, my insurance agent I just switched to saved me almost $4,000 a year, right? Like, on my car insurance. Literally cut my rate on 2 vehicles.
Sounds like Geico commercial.
They got him, right?
They got him, right?
But
Could have done it.
But here's the deal, right? It's like, whenever I come, like, buying a house now, looking for home insurance, like, Fit gets my call first, like before I even shop rates or do anything. That's my due, right? So when you get like think about what they're doing and positioning, I was like, hey, just so you know, like if you're gonna buy this anyway, here's a way you save a shit ton more money on it. That's a hookup. That's a fat like, hey, yes, like thank you for giving me the goods. It's a better win for us and for them. And you want to talk about building long-term branding loyalty or like getting long-term clients, which I've seen both you guys like running into some of your clients here in Houston. Like Frank, we've seen yours obviously, especially here in the Corpus area. Like people love their rep and like, no, I only work with that person. Like that's an excellent way to do it because you literally just gave them like a cheat code. It's like you're about to check out and buy the stuff anyway. It's like, hey, here's how you save an extra 10% off or 20%.
Like, oh, your last name is Rodriguez, you get an extra 1% off.
Yeah, exactly right.
And one last thing on the kitchen, and I heard you say part of it. I got it from Chelsea. I don't know who she got it from at the rodeo, but the whole concept kitchen. It's like, hey, by the way, y'all hear me say it now. I'm like, I show them the sets. I go, by the way, or actually it's in my approach. I don't even know how I say it now, but I go, yeah, we build everybody into our Cutco kitchen now. It's just what everybody does. It's you'll have your dream set of knives, flatware, and cookware. And the whole concept of that is, everything's 100% American made, guaranteed forever, all sourced here in the States, and the best thing about it is just like your appliances, like if and when something goes wrong, you have one 1-800 number, you have one rep to deal with, and I can handle all your needs, right? Like that concept of like my whole kitchen is taken care of. Like that's awesome. You don't have to call. You don't have to look at 18 different customer service numbers. Like there's just one, right? It's all gadgets, hunting, fishing, right? And so you explain that. That's what I do in the beginning now. And then I'm like, all right, so yeah. And of course, most people start with the knives. I can show you the kitchen, or do you want me to just start with the knives? Start with the knives, and then they'll be like, oh, let's see the knives first. Which I should probably start changing and trying to do more flatware and cookware now, but because the knives sell themselves so easily. But yes, that whole concept of just one company is what y'all should try to harp on.
Somebody have any questions?
Questions, concerns? I gotta pee. Can I have my crutches? Anybody online? Questions or week? Something you want to add into it, or maybe not add into it?
Helpful.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Really super quick before we
want that to happen.
before we break for that. Does anybody have any takeaways? Just like 1 or 2 lines, a nugget, something like that was like, oh wow, that was really impactful, or that made like I'm excited to implement that.
I like what Joseph said about the whole just the progression, the way he took it from like taking it from a 5-piece to adding on the flatware to adding on just everything in general. That's gonna be really money. I'm excited to use them.
One line that I still haven't gotten to use yet, but I've wanted to use it so many times. And there was one time where I made the upsell without using that line that I got from you, that you just shared again just now was, I don't know if you guys like saving money, but, and then just kind of going
Spending
into
money.
He said spending money.
Yeah.
But,
Y'all spenders? Everybody spends. And guys, if y'all want that, I don't know when I can get it done, but the exercises on listening, it sounds like, oh, I know how to listen. We all suck at listening. Like I'm bad at listening. And then it's not just listening, but it's learning how to actually recall that and then actually being able to implement it, right? And there's some exercises that me and my agent used to do acting wise because it's such a big like give and take that I think it would actually be a great idea. But let me know if y'all want. I can try to start looking for it. Are we gonna take a break soon?
Yeah, last thing on this. One thing you'll notice if you ever cross train with Jason or with Curtis, like those two are probably two of the like when they break down customer interactions afterwards, like, hey, why do you do this or say this? Is like, oh, well, he
Like he switched a little bit when I said this word, so therefore I knew he was thinking that in my experience. So therefore I did this and I changed my body language and I started doing this, and that's how we got there. And it's like, wait, what the heck? Like, I thought homeboy just had something in his shoe. Like, what's going on, right? Like, I've literally heard Jason talk before. When he's in his zone, he'll literally match a client's breathing. Like that. Jason's a lot out there on some stuff. I love the man to death. That's some ninja shit right there, if we're being honest about this. Like, that's like, he'll literally get to a point where he's matching everything and like an instant deep rapport, sees it, reads it, and like, all right, next thing.
It's a haircut.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,